Welcome to the 700 Club. Stunning developments in the last 24 hours. Actor Tom Hanks and his wife Rita Wilson are now among those who have tested positive for the coronavirus. And last night, President Trump banned travel from Europe. Plus, the NBA is suspending its entire season, and no fans will be allowed to watch the March Madness games played on the college level. Well, what more is underway to contain this deadly virus? Jenna Browder brings us our coverage from Washington.
In his speech to the nation, President Trump announced his dramatic action against the coronavirus, sweeping travel restrictions on 26 European countries.
We made a life-saving move with early action on China. Now we must take the same action with Europe.
Beginning Friday, travel from Europe to the U.S. will be suspended for 30 days, the United Kingdom not included. Trump also announced emergency action to give financial aid to workers.
This will be targeted for workers who are ill, quarantined, or caring for others due to coronavirus.
This includes deferring tax payments for people and businesses and a payroll tax cut. The tax cut, though, is unpopular with Democrats. This as stocks fall into a bear market, and amid concerns about the virus's impact on the economy, evidence of that already being seen in some parts of Europe, as Chuck Holden reports for CBN.
I'm at London Heathrow this morning, and this place is a ghost town. I mean, empty. Usually this is practically standing room only in here the last few times I've been here, and it is absolutely empty. My plane has so many seats open that they could probably put everybody on the plane in business class if they wanted to.
This as top health officials warn about the speed of the spread and the need to move quickly to contain it.
It is 10 times more lethal than the seasonal flu. I think that's something that people can get their arms around and understand.
Dr. Anthony Fauci testifying on Capitol Hill. When asked to give an estimate on the number of cases, he says it depends on the government's response and warns without aggressive action, we could see millions more cases. The World Health Organization has declared the coronavirus a global pandemic, meaning the virus is spreading widely.
We're deeply concerned both by the alarming levels of spread and severity and by the alarming levels of inaction.
And now actor Tom Hanks and his wife Rita Wilson have tested positive. The couple is under quarantine in Australia.
Anything that has large crowds is something that would give a risk to spread.
Fauci says even if that means no crowds at NBA games, so be it. But the NBA went further, suspending its season Wednesday night after a player tested positive. And now college basketball is also taking action to avoid large crowds at its tournament games. Mark Martin has more on that.
It's known as March Madness, but this year college basketball's big dance will be a lot quieter. NCAA President Mark Emmert announcing, "I have made the decision to conduct our upcoming championship events, including the Division I men's and women's basketball tournaments, with only essential staff and limited family attendance." The move foreshadowed last Friday at Johns Hopkins University as the men's Division III tournament was played without fans because of the coronavirus.
We're here to support the kids, and whether we're watching them from a screen at the hotel or in the stands, they know that we're here supporting them.
The coronavirus impact goes beyond sports, also affecting Americans living out their lives day to day. We caught up with some people in Virginia Beach where Harvey Coleman told us he tries to avoid crowds, and that's not all.
I wash my hands many, many times during the day, and I went to Costco to buy toilet paper, and they're out. They sold out completely.
I'm in sales, and you can imagine shaking hands is a large part of my day process. So trying to just eliminate touching people, fist bumps, elbow bumps.
You also might be changing your routine in light of the spread of the coronavirus. What are local businesses and restaurants doing? We spoke with the manager of a restaurant in Norfolk, Virginia, to learn his strategy. Randy Windley has managed Dumars for 30 years.
In the restaurant business, we are washing our hands 10, 15 times a day.
Anything else you guys are doing to protect this restaurant, the customers, and this overall establishment?
Yeah, we also wipe stuff down with Clorox cleanup on all of our tables and any of the server stations and that kind of thing too.
National chains are changing the way they operate. In addition to deep cleaning, Target is limiting the number of hand sanitizers you can purchase. Dunkin' and Starbucks say no to personal cups. And fast food restaurants like Taco Bell are now using tamper-proof packaging to keep delivery drivers from potentially contaminating the merchandise. Mark Martin, CBN News.
Well, our CBN medical reporter, Laurie Johnson, joins us now. Laurie, let me ask you about this. When Dr. Fauci said that this stuff is 10 times more lethal than seasonal flu, what is he talking about?
Well, it's a numbers game, Pat. What he's talking about is, he said specifically, the coronavirus at this point, it might change, at this point, the coronavirus has a death rate of 1%. The seasonal flu has a death rate of 0.1%. So that's coronavirus 10 times more. So 1%. So we're still talking about one person out of every 100. But if this thing is as contagious and as widespread as people say it could be, worst case scenario, let's take America, for example. We have 360 million people in America. Let's say a third of Americans, about 100 million people, get it. That means with a 1% death rate, we're talking about 1 million deaths. That is not acceptable.
Well, does it have some devastating effect on people's lungs that is more extensive than what we realized?
It absolutely is. This is a respiratory disease. So we know that the three main symptoms are cough, difficulty breathing or shortness of breath, and a high fever. Now, the more severe symptoms are people who have lethargy and a fever that won't break, and again, difficulty breathing. These people need to go to the emergency room, but they're being asked, before you go to the emergency room, make a call to that hospital and say, hey, I think I might have COVID-19 and I'm on my way, so that the hospital personnel can take the necessary precautions.
Well, people have said, do not go to the doc in the box, do not go to your health care. Call them on the telephone. Is that the drill now?
That is the drill now. So do make that call ahead of time and tell your doctor, or the doc in the box, as you call it, the urgent care center, I think I might have COVID-19. What should I do? And sometimes they'll ask you to come in, or sometimes they will give you other instructions. Everyone a doctor deems needs to be tested will be tested.
Right. I was told yesterday that somebody who was familiar with the origin of this coronavirus said that zinc was amazingly effective in preventing the contagion taking off in somebody's life. Do you know anything about zinc?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I do. This is the Zicam tablets that I use all the time. As far as like medical professionals saying what is good for preventing this, there isn't any particular standard of care, but we know that just staying in generally good health, and you've been talking about this for the longest time about the gut health, and people are saying things like elderberry. These are all things that can help us generally stay in general good health. But as far as ways to prevent this particular virus, not even getting it in the first place, washing our hands, keeping our distance from other people, 3 or 6 feet from other people, and really disinfecting those surfaces will help prevent us getting it in the first place.
Well, you have done put together a fact sheet that I think has been very popular. What you need to know, and on the back of it, you have a wonderful thing from the 91st Psalm that's basically said that no plague is going to come near your dwelling. And you think prayer is going to be really effective in relation to this too, right?
Absolutely. And, you know, this is a great opportunity for us to show ourselves and the rest of the world what makes America great. We have a long history, Pat, of people of our nation rising to a challenge and defeating a threat to our nation when individuals make personal sacrifices for the common good. And that's exactly what is happening right now. Each and every one of us is being asked to do what we can to avoid getting sick and avoid making other people sick. Right now, we're being asked to stay home. Up until now, only sick people have been asked to stay home. And now they're saying even well people should stay home if they can. And again, practice the other things, washing our hands, keeping our distance from other people, and disinfecting surfaces. And again, we just need to remember that we need to hope for the best and prepare for the worst. We're going to get through this. This is temporary.
I totally agree. Laurie Johnson. Folks, we've gotten this thing that's been so popular. We've had requests for about 260,000 or so of them over the years. And according to Laurie, 80% of your immune system is located in this gut. And so there is the probiotics, which put these little critters inside of you, and this prebiotics is what it takes to feed them. And if you have a healthy gut, and that immune system you have will build up, so whatever the contagion is, your body will be able to, it doesn't say you can't necessarily catch it, but it can overcome any infection that's come into your life. You need to, if you haven't got one of these, we'll give them to you free. 1-800-700-7000. So pick up your phone, call in, and we will give you that, plus a fact sheet we give of what you need to know about this coronavirus. Tom Hanks, the NBA, think of that.
So many things. I mean, you know, universities, some of them are telling their kids not to come back after spring break until told. It's really remarkable.
A lot of schools are teaching online, and but anyhow, we just want to do everything we can to avoid this thing. Wash your hands, wash them with soap and water, wash them carefully, and you know, if you've got a remote or you go into a plane, don't touch the seat, you know, the table in front of you. Just keep your hands off of these things, and especially the remote. You go into a hotel and there's a remote, and you pick it up and start flipping it. That thing can be covered with these coronavirus
germs, really.
Germs, whatever they are. And you can catch this stuff. So just be careful. And the whole idea, Lysol apparently is very effective, and it'll kill these bugs, but they need to wipe down constantly, just constantly, vigilance. And eternal vigilance, as we've said a long time ago in our founding documents, is the price of liberty. So keep eternally vigilant.